Witcher 4 gameplay. Applause. Yeah,
This is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher 4.
This looks insane, man.
What you just saw
Jesus.
and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing.
Really?
So in the game,
We just saw the
a professional
tech
monster
demo.
slayer, a witcher. She explores the world and hunts
Ciri,
down monsters for coin.
We know what it is.
The region we are in is called Kovir, and you'll get to explore it in a game. Right now, Ciri is investigating a monster, and after gathering new clues, she is heading
Insane,
back
man.
to a nearby village.
Even the snow, look at the snow. Insane, man.
All right, everyone.
Makes me want to buy a
Meet
new
Kelpie.
PC just for this.
Let weeds be weeds, Kelpie.
So just like Geralt had Roach, Ciri has her own loyal companion.
We return to town.
Sorry, looks like we're gonna get a couple of ads in this video.
These two characters need to feel like one.
Have to cut 'em
Since
out.
you're gonna explore the world on horseback, riding needs to feel seamless, natural, and just fun.
Yeah, and to support
Look at the
that,
cape,
we're
man.
introducing multi-character motion matching in Unreal. So Ciri and Kelpie, they're perfectly synchronized. when
This is
mounted
Unreal
from any
5, right?
angle and
Yeah.
speed. And we also
Which apparently
support
is like
brute
very
motion
badly
movement on
optimized
Kelpie.
for the moment
So
because
controlling
it's
her
new,
feels
so
realistic and grounded.
getting a beast of a PC to play
And
this.
there are
Then
also
again,
some really
PS5,
nice
so I don't
improvements
know.
to our Unreal Chaos Flesh Solver, and these machine-learned deformations. So you've got realistic muscles moving and stretching under Kelpie's skin without compromising the performance there.
Like, right. Okay, just stop, dude. Just stop.
So let's leave Ciri behind for a second and talk about the world itself. So much of the Witcher world is natural.
Even the
organic,
colors, red and green and
especially
white.
Kovir with its dense forest and wild nature.
The Italian
Yeah,
flag, I
and
guess.
wild nature is hard. And with nanite geometry, we've freed artists from so many of their old constraints.
AI.
But we don't want to rest until everything we do in Unreal
Joking, I
has
don't
that
know.
same spirit of freedom. There's
Right.
always more work to do. And
Okay.
foliage is a huge piece of that
I mean, it
puzzle.
looks
So we are excited to introduce
better
nanite
than real
foliage.
life.
And in order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while
I'm sorry, I missed that. Introduced what?
so we are excited to introduce nanite foliage.
Okay.
And in order to achieve gorgeous foliage density everywhere, while still being memory efficient, fast to render, we
True.
believe that a new idea was needed. So
Yeah.
instead of the same card approach we've been using for the past 20 years, artists should be free to take a nanite approach to foliage, modeling every single leaf and pine needle. And the old LOD tricks of the past, they needed a complete rethink. And in their place, it's a new adaptive voxel representation in nanite. It's volumetric, it's fully 3D, it is super fast to render. And these dense clusters of triangles turn into these cubes, which at a distance, they're no larger than a pixel, and they react to the changing light of our dynamic sun and our shadows, and they allow artists to render whatever amount of foliage is needed to achieve their vision without compromise.
Damn.
And
Sounds
no
impressive.
compromise means how ambitious we are when it comes to bringing our vision to life with incredible visuals. But more than that, together with Epic, we created faster way to load the world. We can now bring in more content more quickly for the smoothest possible experience as we fly down
Makes me wanna live there.
to catch up with Ciri.
Dude, it's a good quality though. It's 1080. I want to see this like in all its glory, you know?
Welcome to Valdrest. So Valdrest is a port town, a hub for fishing, trade, and mining. It's one of those places where you can meet shady characters or overhear gossip from other lands. It's also where Ciri took on her current contract.
Throwing trash in the river, you know?
High-tech, let's leave Kelpie here and explore the marketplace and food.
And the missus?
I'm so excited we can finally show you some of this stuff.
I feel
Let's
like
see what Valdrest has to offer.
they're showing us a lot.
Not her again.
Damn. Of course, this is done for the trailer, like the demo. Sorry. Everything's like, you know, interactive and amazing, and you know, every NPC does something unique and different. in reality, you're probably gonna get like, you know, NPCs standing around or shit.
Guys, notice how responsive the world is.
Yeah, for the demo. Yeah,
Character actions directly affect what happens around you. Sometimes even setting off chain reactions.
like the pigs could be a
Everything
thing.
is working together. Oh,
Like,
look at this poor gentleman.
this is an actual NPC,
being
you
taught
know.
how to fly by an angry innkeeper.
This
That's what happens
is
when
made
you
for the
cheat at
demo.
Gwent.
You know.
Last of it, is it?
You got dwarves in this game? I haven't played it. I'm only played the first one for like 5 minutes, so I don't know.
Okay, so this is the guy who gave the series quest his own. Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda.
There's like
in all of
so many unique things going on. It's like for the demo, you know.
A typical day's toil.
Who in? Ah, Witcheress. What news of my wagons? No eternity is
Witcheress?
taking that damn salt to arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the salt, I found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you. No, no.
Facial animations.
This smuggling trade is of no concern to me.
Shush, shush, shush.
The manticore that flattened your
Oh,
cast,
Manticore. I
devoured
call it a
your men.
chimera. I was close.
Quite the opposite.
More ads.
Manticore. No, them winged hellspawn dwell in the arse end of Creighton. Not here.
There's like
While
so much
Siri
detail,
decides
man.
what to do about that merchant, let's take a look at the character technology that powers this marketplace. Why don't we listen in on these fishmongers? They're selling their wares, chatting up customers.
Morning, catch this is. Won't find none fresh.
And they're doing all this without the player even being nearby, you know?
We've got it for you. You mind, dearest? Into seeing something more. Got mackerel cod, all Braxton's finest.
And there is tons of tech at play here, even in a simple market stall. Metahuman tools, improved Unreal smart objects, chaos cloth, and more.
Yeah, and all of this exists
Voice
to make sure
acting,
that
all
the
that
gapping
stuff.
quality between Siri and NPCs is as small as possible.
Yeah, and closing that gap, it's not just about fidelity, right, but also authenticity.
They're
They
promising
should
a lot.
react to changes in the world around them.
But the prisoner in Pillory isn't exciting enough for Valgrest. Let's grab everyone's attention with a circus.
This is doable. You know, it's different acts, different parts of the day. That's doable. Yeah,
But
these are like
great
NPC
performance
animations.
deserves a huge crowd, though. Let's crank it up.
This is possible.
So you are seeing tons of optimizations here to many of Unreal systems,
Yeah.
including an entirely new Unreal animation framework, allowing us to fit easily in our 60 FPS budget, not just in rendering, but also with room to spare on the game thread. Over 300 animated skeletal mesh agents all going about their business. And the whole point is to leave
300.
breathing room for developers like you to introduce the gameplay and the systems that your players expect, empowering you to make your worlds come to life without Unreal standing in your way.
You are right. That's the open world RPG that we're making. But before we wrap up, how about one final check-in with Siri?
Before we wrap up, not even like halfway there. Oh, yes, we are.
We are making this game to be the most immersive and ambitious open world Witcher game ever. And we are making this a
Witcher
reality
game.
thanks to our work on Unreal with the team at Epic. I think what we are doing together is going to bring in a new generation of open world RPGs, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished so far.
It's
We are
beautiful,
too.
man. It's absolutely
So we're
beautiful.
almost done, but before we go, here's a small gift for all Witcher fans.
What's up? Combat?
A first look at La Nexeta.
A what? Oh, is this the land, the country, or something? I'm guessing. Mentioned in previous games, possibly.
Onward, Kelpie. We've worked to do.
Well, what's left? Are they going to talk about it? Okay, let's see what's up. Curious.
Thanks, guys. Seriously, it looks amazing. And we've also barely scratched the surface of what's coming in Unreal 5.6. So here's Julien to tell you even more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, great to be here in Orlando. I spent a lot of time on this demo, so I'm happy to be the one to talk about what went into the 5.6 release. An open world like that was just the perfect content.
They promise a lot. Again, I wonder how much of this will actually be in game.
Performance.
Not the graphics. The graphics look
insane.
The attention to detail, the NPCs.
We want to preserve graphics quality, and of course, we want to deliver high frame rates that you and your players expect. So let's check it out.
But again, you remember what happened with Cyberpunk 2077?
If you all remember, when we released Nanite with UE5, it supported static geometry. Last year, we brought skinning to Nanite. And now, we're working on Nanite foliage. The only way to have a forest that looks as good as this one is to use 3D geometry for all parts of the trees, just like we do for everything else. However, this is a crazy amount of fine geometry. So we had to rethink how trees are created and displayed.
The way they move.
To create them, we developed Nanite assemblies. These 28 little parts that you see are all that we use to build all the spruces from the forest. They are instanced thousands of times and used like building blocks to assemble trees in different ways.
Right.
And as you probably noticed with the wind effect, they even support skeletal animation, which runs on the GPU.
Here's your elements, build trees out of it.
Thanks to assembly, we greatly reduce the storage, the runtime memory,
which look very different because you have like different,
Then, to display an entire forest, the challenge was to preserve fidelity and performance from any distance. Let's check up close the level of detail we're talking about here.
We're back. God, that looks fucking insane, man.
Lots of details. But this triangle representation is not the most efficient when far away, due to the amount of overlapping. And that's why we made an adaptive voxel representation. But in reality, you'll never see those voxels this close, since when we move the camera back, they're barely a pixel. Nanite foliage is almost done.
We
are moving it to the main line as we speak, and it will be available for everyone in 5.7.
Bit of a trickery here,
Another thing I would like to share is that ray tracing and lumen now run more than twice as fast, with no visual trade-off compared to when UE5 was released. And because of that, we can now hit 60 FPS on consoles.
The colors are great, too, very artistic.
And finally, we rewrote the rendering pipeline to run asynchronously, so you can increase the richness of your scenes even more. Now let's talk about chaos physics.
Go on.
For chaos cloth, we improve our cloth-to-cloth constraint solution. This removes a lot of evaluation when garments are piling up and interacting with each other. Even for complex setup like Series Cape, we hit a sub-millisecond budget on PS5. With Chaos Flash, we introduce procedural muscle activations to make deformation and motion more natural.
But only for the horse or everything else?
Your artist will still have control over T-triangle simulation and train ML models that run fast in
I'm sure they probably do it for everything. It's just,
We now support the baking of fluid surface data into lightweight assets to be played back at low cost. This is going to give you high-fidelity water without the performance cost of real-time fluid simulation. For animation, we work on both performance and fidelity. Here, you can see how Siri and Kelpie match up in their interaction.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Well, that works no matter the angle of approach. That's our Modes character motion matching solution. We also added motion matching in Sequencer to build stitch tracks. With them, you can seamlessly transition from gameplay to cinematic. Also, we now have a secondary layer
cool.
of animation driven by physics in Control Rig. We used it in Kelpie's rig to drive the mane, the tail, and the saddleback.
Yeah.
And now, I'm happy to announce that all these features are already integrated into our new Unreal Animation framework, which we are releasing as experimental in 5.6. We built it with performance first in mind. Animation evaluation are now running in parallel off the game thread,
I can
which
see this
was
happening.
our bottleneck.
This is not too bad.
And for the other character systems that are just as costly,
I'm looking
like
at the
movement,
animations, you know, this
avoidance,
makes sense.
state tree behaviors, we also move them to worker threads. This is really going to help you create scenes that are crowded and lively. Streaming has always been a big deal regarding performance. And the three biggest improvements we made are physics state creation, which now runs async.
Man, I need a new PC, man. I'm looking at this and I want to play this like in
and a
full-blown
new
ultra
plugin to
graphics.
stream static geometry. And just to take a different example, in City Sample, the streaming time was cut down by 90% while moving at
Look
high
at the details, man. The windows.
We focus on a lot of
the
areas for
antennas,
performance in
the city in the
5.6.
background.
And mobile is no exception.
Mobile.
We work on better defaults and scalability settings for mobile and minimize the default package size. We also improve our workflows with a UI refactor of the viewport toolbar and content browser, an on-device iteration workflow, and a mobile preview solution. So there you go. Unreal Engine 5.6 is all about performance, and it's available today.
Yay! Thank you for selling me this engine. I will invest millions of dollars in it. Thank you, sir.
Please go enjoy the tech talks and session we have for you guys and come chat with us. And now, please welcome Chris from the MetaHuman.
Okay, so yeah, so what we've seen in the first half, the game itself, again, we've seen the demo for Cyberpunk 2077, and although it is like very like interesting when you go in like cities and stuff, you don't have like certain kind of animations, and yeah, that was like quite a couple of years ago, but still, I don't see, how should I put it? I mean, I'm trying to understand how this would work like for real. You know, there's like a guy spinning in here, and I guess he only like drops out if you approach. If you don't approach,
so this is the guy who gave the series of questions.
like is this guy gonna like drop out of the spinning thing even if you're not there? Probably not. This is probably like an animation made specifically with a trigger once you approach this location, right? But then you also have the guy, this thing here.
Pardon.
Is this like pre-animated, or is this something that you can do no matter when?
Guys, notice how
Like the items dropping, the items rolling, the rooster getting out of the way, the kid coming to like steal the apples.
the world is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is
Character
that
actions directly affect what happens around you. Sometimes even setting off chain reactions. Everything
chain reactions? Maybe, I don't know. Like
is
again,
working together.
this I can see this. Look at this guy is moving. This is an NPC. Like, you know, the same animation. You're not really doing anything unrelated to anything else. Just like looking left and right. That's like an NPC. The other stuff, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're promising a lot. I feel like again, Cyberpunk 2077 promised a lot as well, and you know how that worked out when the game came out. So, could this be any different? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see more demos. Wait for like some reviews. See what's up. Thank you for watching. Peace.